All right, we'll continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. We'll talk with Cynthia Freeland coming up at 11 o'clock, some NFL football, some Chiefs football. But right now, we're very excited and pleased and honored, in fact, to be a part of this and what will take place over the next 10 to 15 minutes. Joining us now from Cars for Heroes, carsforheroes.org, Car Santa, Terry Franz, and also the Director of Operations, Brian Christensen. Guys, thank you for coming in. We really appreciate it. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate you having us.
Well, let people know a little bit about the organization and what you guys do. Carsforheroes.org. It's been going on a long time, but what is this?
Well, we started in 1996. Started as a little, I had a car lot and decided it would be a good business promotion. And I started, called a radio station and say, hey, how would you like to give some cars away for Christmas? And we set up 7 cars, I think, the very first year. And started, and then all the press came out. We did it on Christmas Eve morning and gave them all away. And 4, 5, 9, 41, all of them showed up. Mm-hmm. So it really just started as a promotion. And then the next year it went a little bit bigger, it went to 10, and then it kept growing. So we decided maybe we should turn this into a charity. And we did, and the charity's mission is to provide basic transportation to veterans, active duty military, and first responders that are unable to obtain it on their own. And it kind of spiraled after at Christmas we went to everybody. And we still do every year at Christmas, even though we help veterans all year. Christmas, I open it up to everybody. If you're in need, we'll take a look at the application. And we still focus a lot on the veterans, but our first responders. But it's grown now. This is year 29. On December 9th or December 20th, we'll be at Fowling Warehouse there on State Line and 103rd. And we're going to give 30 cars away all one morning. And when we do again for the 29th year, 4, 5, 9, 41, all of them, every TV station is there. In the past, we are dedicating this year to my friend Brian Slacker Adams. Yeah. Slacker gave 16 years of his life with me that we did this, and we did it every week. Then we had the events, and so we decided to dedicate it to him this year because he rode right through. Max Floyd, myself, went to his house. And he knew what was happening, and he said, I want to go out in style. So we did. We gave them all away. We did it in his, he has a little living room area that he has his own studio in, and we recorded them all and gave them all away last year. So at least we got to spend that with him. But since he's not going to be here this year, we've invited his wife and his daughter down and pay tribute to him while we're down there. And at the same time, help 30 families in the area that need a hand up. And we do a lot of other things with Tide Cleaners. They donate a bag of cleaning products like Downy and Tide and that kind of stuff. They're Tide dry cleaners. Then we've got Price Chopper next door feeds us all. We got gas cards coming. Michael Bergen with Hands to Heart brings a big 40-foot trailer filled with toys so that all the kids get toys. So
Don't forget about all those Chiefs players. You got Deron.
That's right, Deron Cherry.
Deron will be there.
Some other Hall of Famers will be there, too.
Yeah, hoping we'll see Tim Grunhart there and a few other players are still.
Brian, how did you? Brian Chris is the Director of Operations. How did you get involved in this? When did the calling, I guess, start for you to be a part of this organization?
So back in 2010, I had started up a towing business, and I had met Terry through the car lot that I was working at, and told him I'd help him. I'd help him out, tow some cars, pick them up for him, and it slowly progressed from there as he needed more help, and I wanted to help.
Yeah.
After the big Joplin tornado, and I went down, I brought 3 tow trucks down loaded with cars, and I decided that that's what I wanted to do. And I still own a tow company and a little auto repair shop, and dedicate most of our time to this organization. So we pick up the cars and we get them checked out and see which one needs work. So this whole thing works off of people donating their old car that they're not using anymore. And we go and pick them up and decide what needs to be fixed, if anything, and get them ready.
What have you seen in the difference that it makes for these heroes, that something that's quite frankly, taken for granted by a lot of people that you just
is.
get in a car, start it, and go to work or go do this. I mean,
some of the biggest things that I've seen is when you see their face or you hear them, even you'll hear it even on the radio when you surprise someone with a car. It just seems like all the weight has just been lifted off of them. And sometimes they say things, little things like, "Wow, I can don't have to walk and carry groceries home," or you just think about carrying a gallon of milk and 2 bags of groceries, a mile down the road in this weather.
Yeah.
It's horrible, or even hot weather. So it's huge, and to be able to go to the doctor, and some people have said they just want to go see their grandkids at the park play baseball, and they can't get there. Especially if they're handicapped and they need a special vehicle. We do help with handicap accessible vehicles also. And some people have been stuck in the house for years. So it's amazing to help.
There's so many things over the 30 years I've been doing this that you don't notice. But if you're down and out, I can show you the soup kitchens that'll feed you. I can show you places that'll give you clothes. I can show you organizations that'll help you get into housing. All the things you might need. I've had people that I took from hotel rooms, and the guy said he had 6 kids, and they were all in one room in a hotel room. And he says, "Well, I know where the soup kitchen is, but I don't have a car to get there." So sometimes it's the simple things, but they don't realize that when we give these people a car, lots of times they go get all those things for themselves. But when they're stuck and they can't move, they have no options.
And you all have friends and family that will help. That you call them up, and you call their friends and family, but after so long of asking for help and rides, soon they're just not going to answer their phone. And it's not because they don't love you or care. It's just it gets too much for anybody. So you just think about you go out in the morning, you got to go to work, you go to start your car and it doesn't start. What do? You immediately freak out, don't know what's going to happen. Now just think about that every single day.
How do you apply for something like this?
We have a website, cars4heroes.org, and if you go there, it'll explain everything about us. It'll give a little brief description and some videos of what we do, and you can apply for a car, donate a car, or help us out in other ways with money.
Yeah, and going on 3 decades of doing this, which is amazing when things start sort of organically. Just here's a little promotion, and now you've changed so many lives throughout the years, and 30 vehicles, that'll be given away.
It's been thousands of cars that we've given away. Everybody asks me, "How many did you give?" Well, I didn't count them all. I just given them all.
I mean, I guess I can go back and tabulate everything. I've got the spreadsheet. I guess I can.
Well, for years we did this here. We did it in Omaha. We did it in Wichita at Christmas, where there's 20 in Omaha, 20, 30 here, and then 20, 30 in Wichita.
Yeah.
And now we're spreading out. We were just heading to Tampa to give 4 away down there. We've done that once before. And it's because of the help. Tide Cleaners was owned by a guy named Jimmy Berry for a lot of years. He just sold it this year. Well, he bought a house down in St. Pete. So he called me. He said, "Could I do it down here?" So we started collecting cars.
No, you cannot help people in Tampa.
Right.
It's only here.
So we did 1 year down there, and we were just getting ready. We were 2 days before the hurricane came through, and it stopped us. So we're going to have to wait for them to recover a little bit.
Luckily, the cars
down.
made it. They're
the
safe.
Cars are okay.
Yeah.
How many people do you get typically over the course of a year applying for this, and how difficult is it to go through and figure out, here are the people that we can help that we're going to, and unfortunately,
that's the difficult part.
Yeah, I can't imagine
we get,
what that.
About 15,000 requests
More
for
than
cars.
that. This morning, I cleaned off the applications at 5:30, getting ready to come down here, and I just looked when we were out in the other room, and we were at 30 applications that we got since 5:30 this morning.
Oh, wow.
But it's typical that I can get 500 a day during the Christmas season.
You might wake up in the morning and have 70 or 80 overnight while you're sleeping applications.
And now those aren't all from Kansas City. A lot of those are from all over the nation. But yeah, it's continued to grow because of social media. They find out about us and say, "Hey, I need a car," and we have a pretty strong presence in social media. You can imagine after all the years that we've been on there, and we've been giving a car away every week on a radio station for years.
Right. Yeah.
So
you start to do the math, and there's a lot of people that are affected by it.
Well, and you guys have always been behind us, and we appreciate that. Every time you get another audience out there And I don't know what giving cars away has to do with sports, except that
It has
we
to
have
do with the
sports
community.
guy shows up. That's right.
It has to do
Well,
with the community.
NASCAR, right?
there
NASCAR
you
is a
go.
sport. There we go.
We've
Yeah.
given away at NASCAR with Michael Waltrip and Martin Truex. I gave one away with them. That was during the year of Joplin. And
really?
then rock stars, I mean, Kiss, Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
We've been on stage with them. And my favorite's Ted Nugent. He's 3 times he's been up. Any time he came to town, he'd say, "Yeah, I'll go give a car," and we'd give one away up
You
on
play
stage.
free for all, right? He's playing free for all when the car's getting.
Yeah, he's quite a character as you get to know him. There's a lot to Ted Nugent, a lot to absorb there, but he's always very patriotic. We've given away with Donald Trump Jr. in Wichita.
I can't imagine that you guys would be surprised at the amount of people that would want to help, right? I mean, it seems like this is because even Brian saying, you know what, I'm just helping you tow, and now it's like, no, I want to do more.
Yeah.
Once you've been there and you hand over the keys to these people and you see how it changes their life, you're not human if you don't feel
right.
like you want to do something.
Yeah,
So I mean, it's just our instinct as a human being to help other people, and it's so rewarding to do.
Well, I'll give you a quick story. For over 15 years, the Kansas, Missouri Safety Council donates all the child safety seats for all the kids that we got. And the reason we did is the lady, Kathy Zantz, that runs it, she brought her kids down one year, and we had a family of 6, and they were pretty down and out. We gave them a van, and her son looked at one of the kids, and he took his gloves off and went and gave them to one of the other kids that was needing it. And we locked her in forever.
If we forget to call her, she calls us. So, yeah.
Oh, that is fantastic. Well, you know, I know there's an applicant. There's a number of applicants, and you know, there's the interview process. You know, there's the application and interview process, and right now we have Johnny on the line, and Johnny, welcome in. You're on Sports Radio 810 WHB right now, and I'm here with Terry and Brian. And, you know, as we go through trying to figure out different things and those that are, you know, worthy, deserve, everybody is, but trying to figure these things out. Johnny, these guys, Terry and Brian, have some questions for you just to sort of go through the next step of the interview process.
Okay.
How you doing this morning, Johnny? This is Terry.
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Well, I was telling them a little bit about your story, and you had served Army, I believe, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
And you had, I know you had one tour. Was it Iraq or
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan? Okay. Well, I was telling them earlier, you know, the only qualification with us is that you had to serve honorably, and we've seen your DD 214, and you have done that. But apparently you have run into some problems since you got out, and you're kind of struggling with those a little bit. First off, you told me you don't really drive anymore. Can you tell us what the issue is there?
The issue there is I have a traumatic brain injury,
Uh-huh.
so my cognitive is not as quick as it used to be.
Okay. And so your wife does most all the driving?
My wife does all of the driving right now.
And you got 3 kids, was it? 14, 10, and 5, I think.
Yes, correct.
And you said your daughter was going in for some surgery. Was it a major surgery or minor surgery? Or
It's major surgery. Unfortunately, it is sinus surgery.
Oh, I see. Well, and then the reality of your situation, and I know times are difficult. I'm sure you're not in a position where you can run out and get a job or have somebody taking you back and forth with all the other disability items you have on your list. But you tell me that the car you got now, you're about to lose it, that you're a little far behind on payments.
Yes, that is correct. We're
Yeah.
almost 3 months behind.
Have you figured out what you're going to do if you lose your car?
No, we have not.
Well, I'm sure that's nerve-wracking, especially at Christmas.
It is.
One of the things that I've seen about the application, Johnny, is everything that your wife does for the family. Like it certainly it
jobs.
It jumps off the page how the sort of the beacon, the matriarch, the rock of the family seems to be the work that your wife is able to do.
Yes. Yes, she does quite a bit for us.
And see, there it is. There it is, a veteran right there, not asking so much for himself a vehicle, but for his wife and family to get the help that she needs more than him. So.
Yes.
Well, Johnny, let me ask you this. I always ask kind of a personal question, but how would it change your life if you had a car right now?
It'll be a huge financial burden lifted. I mean, I don't know what our monthly payment is on our current car, but it would mean that we would have additional groceries for the month instead of having 2 weeks and struggling. Got to figure it out for the last 2 weeks of the month.
Have you got Christmas figured out for you and the kids, or?
Very little, honestly. I think my mom is trying to help out some, but she's on disability also.
Well, Johnny, we don't like to see any of our service people who have served us all suffer at all. And so I'm going to put it over to Brian. What do you think?
Well, I wanted to actually throw it on over here and see what you think about this.
Well, looking through the application and seeing everything that his wife does, the one thing that stands out to me, guys, is the entire thing is him talking about his wife. He's not talking about himself and the traumatic brain injury and how it happened and feeling sorry for himself. It's all about, this is what my wife is doing for us, and it is such a heavy burden on her, and I just want to see life be a little bit easier for her, and she's taken all of this on, homeschooling the kids, working 2 jobs.
Yes.
Like, that's what stands out to me. So, I mean, I don't know.
What do you think?
I say he gets the car.
I think we give you a car.
Johnny, I think you get a car.
Awesome. That's so grateful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy to help you out. And there's a few more things that I didn't get into you, but on December 20th, we're going to be at Fowling Warehouse in South Kansas City, not far from you. And we're going to have you and the family down that morning. We're going to present you with keys to a car, hand you the title. We're going to have toys for your kids. Michael Bergen has a trailer full of toys, so we'll try to find something age appropriate and sex appropriate. He always has a list. How many girls? How many boys?
Mm-hmm.
What are their ages? What are they into?
Right.
And that morning, a lot of the people that have listened to us for years, they stop by, and gas cards are usually, we'll fill up your tank, but there's usually some extra gas cards. Food cards, Price Chopper is excellent at helping us out every year, and so there's going to be a lot of extras down there that morning, and we'll feed you, send you home in a car, and then you will have 0 payments from now on.
Oh, that's so appreciated.
Tell your lender to come get his car.
And tell your wife to take a big breath and a little break.
That's right.
I will do.
That is amazing. Yeah. And what kind of car would you prefer? I mean, besides like a Maserati, obviously. I mean, besides that. But I'm reading here, like, the minivan or the van, also your service, animal that,
I do have a service dog, so it's honestly something that's just large enough to have the 5 of us and my service dog.
A minivan or a big SUV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
sounds good.
That sounds great.
Yeah,
we try to accommodate.
I have a feeling. I have a feeling there's probably going to be something in that range.
Yeah, we can't always accommodate everybody with everything, but we try and make it work best for each individual.
You're early in the process, so Brian's already got a car picked out for you, so you're going to get what you need.
I think that's the case, Johnny. Well, I mean, I'd say congratulations, but I mean, it's really thank you for serving and everything that you've done for this country and what you've given for this country. And it's obviously a big thank you and a ton of respect for what you've done, your family has done, because when the military serves, the entire family serves.
Right.
And your wife seems to be one heck of a lady. And
she is.
Yeah.
And we'll be reaching out to you shortly to get you all the details of when to come out and what time to be there for our event.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm happy for you, Johnny, and certainly appreciative of the service that you've given, and love the fact that now a little bit of a burden here in this Christmas time, and those kids a little bit better of a Christmas as well. I'm not sure which is going to be more special for you, is getting the car, seeing what the Christmas might be for the children coming up in a few weeks. So, Johnny, thank you so much for your service, for everything that you've done. Please send along our thank you and admiration for your wife and everything that she has done for the family, and cannot wait for you to get behind the wheels of this. And as Terry said, to call your lender and tell them pick up the car that you got right now, because you're not making another payment on a car moving forward.
All right. Will do.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you.
All right, there we go. There's Johnny. It's one of the many recipients of the Cars from Cars for Heroes and the difference it'll make. The story about everything about his wife is obviously what jumps off the page.
Yes.
You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with somebody telling a lot of people about their hardships, about what I'm going through, what I've had to deal with. But this was all about what my wife is having to do.
Everything in his story was my wife can get a break, and
she
doesn't have to do everything and then struggle and be worried every month of how to feed. You know, that's what he said. Just having food the last 2 weeks of the month is a huge deal. And I can't imagine, having 3 children that have to worry about having food the last week of the month. So any way you can help,
well, you guys have done such an amazing job for going on 30 years now. And the combination of what you guys are doing for the heroes, and then this particular year honoring Slacker, and having, I was wondering, you mentioned it, I was wondering if his wife and daughter would be there. I was assuming they would be there. The loves of his life, the light of his eyes.
Well, you got to keep in mind that Slacker and myself, I knew Slacker when we used to be at KY with Max Stan and Moffat for 9 years.
Who? Who's that, Sterling?
My mom.
Oh, never heard of him.
Yeah, having Max there is a dangerous move. What's Max? You could give Max a mic? I don't know about that.
Yeah. No, that's Max. Well, it was actually Slacker and I sat down one day, and Max had just lost his wife, and he was not in a really good place. And I said, well, I wonder if he would come back on the radio. And we talked about it about 3 months. So, well, how could we get him on the radio? We found out all we had to do is go to lunch with him. I said, would you do that? He said, sure, I'll do that. And he will be at our event also.
Very cool.
But, so I know Slacker back in the KY days. Yeah. And real honestly, if it wasn't for Sterling's mom, the very first call, I did it with another station, and I randomly called radio stations, and the first one that called me back was Tana.
Wow.
And she says, you want to do what? And I said, I want to give cars away for Christmas. Yeah, we're in. And if you know Tana, that's... she's go.
Very excitable.
Yeah. And
it doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah, I was there even the last day they were on the air, because she called me. She says, I know they're going to fire us all today. Yeah. And she said, could we give a van with a wheelchair lift away? So right to the end, she was going for it.
Amazing.
But if it wasn't for the 9 years they gave, they really elevated this from, hey, let's give a few cars at Christmas. It was the year they were still on the air, and it was the year of Katrina. And we gave, I said, she called me one day, she says, how many cars we giving? I said, 50. And she said, oh, really? Well, we took 8 of them and we sent them down to Houma, Louisiana for the hurricane victims down there. But that's when we decided, well, maybe we should do this instead of 50 at Christmas. Why don't we do it every week?
Yeah, that's
and
amazing.
then, unfortunately, the suits came in and eliminated KY.
They always have a better idea.
Yeah, no kidding. That's what we love about being locally owned here at Sports Radio 810 WHB and the people involved with this. Carsforhero.org. You guys have done such an amazing job, amazing work, starting from something so organic and growing into the lives that you guys have changed over the years. So thank you for doing what you do
and
love continuing to do it. And thank you for letting us be a part of it.
We appreciate it. We
Very
really
special.
do.
We appreciate you hitting a listening audience out there. Maybe somebody will donate a car. We have to fix 30 cars. Now, you know what even a minor fix on a car is. So that cash, if they don't have a car, send the cash in. You can do everything on our website, and it all helps. And please, everybody, you can all be. It's open to the public for our event on December 20th.
Come and hang out.
And,
watch this for yourself.
6 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Fowling Warehouse, 103rd and State Line. Right?
103rd and State Line, right next to the Price Chopper, and that comes convenient because they feed us that morning.
Very
so
good.
You come down and have some coffee and some donuts and some stuff like that.
Terry, Brian, thank you so much for stopping in. We really appreciate it. We're appreciative of what you do and honored that you let us be a part of this. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, there we go. That's Cars for Heroes. Cars, the number 4, heroes.org. to figure out a way to be involved with this, to give back in any way, shape, or form, cars, money, help, time, and also to apply if you're struggling as well and you're a hero. We'll take a time out. We'll come back, continue rolling. More Zone next.